Hello, Promotion Party tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Quest III with me, BlueAnkylo. So in between episodes, spent a little bit of time playing around at the top of the Garuda Tower. I was able to get everyone to level 20. M. Dobry was the last one to get there, not counting Blue. And that's cool. So we're going to head back to the Tower of Dharma pretty quick. I didn't get to show you the level ups, of course, this time around, but if you really care, you can have a look at the stats here. It's pretty standardized, though they're all pretty averaged out. We're not going to change Fella's level. In fact, as they mentioned, changing everybody's level all at the same time is a little bit dangerous. So usually changing one or two characters' level at a time is good enough. Or class is at a time is good enough. Of course, that being said, changing Holly doesn't really count because Holly doesn't really contribute very much. So we're really only fixing Holly's class and then changing one other party member who, like, to be fair, Blue and Fella do the vast majority of the damage. Dobry is our healer. Changing class, Dobry will still be our healer. It just won't learn any new spells for a while. So essentially we're going to not learn the level 20 to 25 cleric spells for a little bit longer. And we're going to put that off by also learning all of the wizard spells, which will give us access to defense up and also attack magic and, you know, all good stuff like that. I think I did learn one spell myself, so I've now added Repel to my repertoire. But I'm not sure if Repel is as good as Tiptoe, because Tiptoe's free. And I don't know what the difference is exactly. They're probably the same spell, just one's free. So with that said, I mean, to be fair, you could use the Zen book. You could use the free sage promotion on any class. It doesn't need to be a cleric. I like promoting clerics to sages because it's fitting. I feel like it's very similar class, and it gives the cleric a lot wider access to magic. It's also pretty good wizards. Like, clerics and wizards are your kind of obvious promotions into sages, if you want to use the Zen book. And then other than that, you need an actual jester, which takes a lot of work. Alright, let's change some classes. So, Holly. Which class will Holly change to? Now, you can change to anything, obviously. If you're a jester, you can go straight to sage. But otherwise, anyone can switch between the main classes. Like I said, there's some pretty good builds out there, but sage is a pretty awesome class. The only sexy is to because Holly sexy is to become a sage. I think it's terrible, but this can't be helped. Are you okay? Yeah. Oh god, Holly is starting again. All right, Holly, congratulations, you're a sage. We're also going to, right at the same time, due to M. Dobry, also to sage. We've got a pair of sage girls following us around. Bam. Oh, it's a nice idea for somebody smart to be a... I guess his dialogue must depend on the personality. Sexy sages aren't allowed, but smart sages are fine. Alright. That's interesting. I didn't know he had that little custom little dialogue there. Alright, that's it. No more for now. Maybe Fella one day, but that's it. So unfortunately they will look the same. I'm actually not a huge fan of, for a Let's Play, having multiples of the same class. I like, you know, changing it up, being more variable. But, you know, sages are just really good. Now, you'll notice right off the bat, they start a little different. So, Holly has, like, jester-style stats. So, generally, your sages do have a lot of luck because they have to be a jester first, traditionally. And not a whole lot of strength or whatever else. Now, if you really wanted, you could probably go warrior into thief, into jester, into sage, and then that way you'd have a stronger jester that would turn into a sage that has more strength and agility and stuff, but it's fine. Dobry is going to be your more classic sage in the sense that stats are more well-rounded and more focused on spellcasting. But one of the good news is about sages is they actually gain really good stats, some of the best stats in the game. So the wisdom will kind of average out fairly quickly, even though for the moment Dobry is a better sage, but Holly will get there soon enough. And then let me just look at the equipment. So, unfortunately, some of the stuff Holly was wearing, I don't believe sages can use anymore. Maybe not exactly that way, but just they might have just been unequipped. So we can actually equip the Mist Staff. We need new body armor for Holly, basically. Still equipping with the Silver Barrette and the Magic Shield, so it's good that we had those. We could equip the Garter Belt, I suppose. It's the thing that makes you sexy, so she's double sexy now. But that's fine for the moment. And we'll find her some real armor. And that's pretty much it. So at the moment, she won't have any new spells. I guess sages learn heal at level 1, so that's nice. But M. Dobry keeps all of his advanced spells, and will eventually learn better cleric spells, but that's going to take a while. If I hadn't mentioned it, kind of the main downside to sages is they level up a little bit slower. That's kind of the only downside. They learn all the wizard, all the cleric spells. They have good stats. They just level up slowly. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's head over to the inn to heal up. And to be honest, what I usually would do if I was playing solo is like off camera, like just a personal let's play or personal playthrough, whatever you want to call it. Generally, after my first class change, I would go back to the metal slime area. Not spend as long, but try to get a few metal slimes, and you'd see the sages probably get to level 10 or 12 like instantly. But we're gonna live life dangerously and not do that. So we're just gonna head off, and I'm gonna try to find some good armor for Holly, and then we're gonna go back to Portoga. So, where would sell good armor? I suppose we'll just start at the furthest town we can return to. We can't quite return to Moir for some reason. It's probably because we went there sort of out of order, but we'll check Jakarta, or whatever we're calling this place. Of course, it looks like that should be the weapon shop, but it's the item shop. Alright, so we could get something for Holly that's body armor. We can get a force, that's not armor. So maybe there's no armor for her here. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to the next town. Portoga or Isis. Well, Portoga probably has a shop, so this is like the next most advanced shop. Now, once we have a ship, we can just go wherever, but, you know. There'll be random encounters that I want her to have armor for. No black coats. Apparently, it's really hard to get sage armor for some reason. Well, I'm sure I'll be able to get her a silk robe or something somewhere. What does Dobry have? Dobry has that Cloak of Evasion. I know we could buy another Cloak of Evasion. I think Isis sells those anyway, so we'll be able to get something here one way or the other. Yeah, the terrorists sell Cloaks of Evasion. That's what I said. Fewer items. Yeah. It's gonna be so weird not having any jesters goofing off. Oh, you know what? I have to do one more thing. I might have to put a cut in the video to fix something. Yeah, I might have to do it. There's the silk robe. Good enough. I'll just go with that for now. It's pretty cheap. And that'll get her defense acceptable. And then we'll just sell off some of the other stuff quick. So you don't need dancing armor anymore. And you can also sell your fur hood. So we've got tons of money, 21,000 gold. Mist Staff we'll hold on to for the free stop spell. The Rune Staff is just single target damage, and then Steel Whips are for closer to single targets. And is there anything else we should sell in here? We're going to hold on to the Wizard's Ring for now. Looks like we're pretty much cleaned up for inventory. Okay, well, let's go back to Portoga and make the king a very happy man by giving him his herb, his spice. He's gonna have some spice. Oh, right, and just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Now, I'm thinking maybe if I get excited next time I take a big break, I might try to customize the two Sage sprites so that you can tell which one's Holly and which one's M. Daubry, because they should look a little different if they remember their original classes, and maybe I can come up with kind of a compromise. We'll save that for a surprise later on. Okay, so focusing on progression here. Talk to the king. So, how was the trip east, Blue? I suppose it didn't go so well. Wait, is that the pepper? Oh, it is indeed. And it's gone instantly. Now, I bow to you, Blue. I'm sure it was a difficult trip. What bravery, courageous, just like true heroes. As promised, my ship is yours. All right. I know the truth. No, I'm fine. Fine then. Okay, thanks, Minister. Oh, look at that. 20 experience to get levels up. Oh, man, the first couple blue metal slimes would be awesome after promotion. We would probably get, like, 6 or 7 levels up per fight, easily killing a metal slime. Especially if you get... Like, I think my record was 3 metal slimes in one battle there. That'd be, like, over 3,000 experience. He's so good. Alright, she does... You know what? East isn't that bad. There's lots of monsters, but if you stay in the towns and never go outside, like you probably do here, because there's monsters here too. Anyway, we got a boat! I'm on a ship, yo! Enjoy the relaxing melody of the sailing theme. Unfortunately, this ship is super slow. Anyway, we can go wherever we want! Sort of. Within reason. Where should we go, guys? I don't really know. I haven't looked up a guide, so I don't really remember, like, where you're supposed to go. There's probably a ton of stuff we can do, which is fun, but a little bit, intimidating. So let's just start with the inner sea, because there's a couple little islands sort of around where we started. We're in the Mediterranean, so let's go... Actually, let's just check what this is. What's this? It's a teleporter that I can't get into. And a tower. It goes up. And there's some guy up here. Cool. It was a wise choice to come to this lighthouse. I'll teach you all about the world. Rowing south along the coast from here will get you to the Cape of Tadanki. It's Danky. Tadanki. Keep going west from there and you'll eventually reach Lancel and Aliahan. Once there, if you head north, you'll reach the island of Zipangu. And supposedly, if one could gather all 6 of the orbs, they could travel anywhere in this world without need of a ship. So head south. Don't forget everything I just said. So just like Dragon Quest II, as soon as you get a ship, some random person says, hey, you should go get some crests or orbs or something, because that's important. Get a MacGuffin! What do we call this place, anyway? This is Portoga Lighthouse. There might be chests on one of the floors. There's clearly a teleportal here. Okay. So he gave us some direction. I'm still going to check out the center of the Mediterranean first. So we're going to go to, what, Sicily? Is that the name of the little island? I don't know. Look, it's a friendly little island. We've been there. Been there, done that. Alright, next. There's another little island and some rivers that are way larger than they should ever be. Yeah, we'll head into, what is this? We'll try to get to the Caspian Sea. Oh no! Murzon and sea slimes! New enemies! So yeah, M-Dobs and Holly probably going to be a little bit weaker than usual for a little while. Not that Holly was ever particularly strong. And because we're fighting more advanced enemies, we'll see lots of level ups today. HP and some stats. And level 3! HP, some MP, and some stats. Holly's probably going to be very similar. Except she learned Expel because M. Daubry already knew Expel. 10 HPs! Alright. Progress! Alright, up. Oh wait, there's a bridge. I can't sail through bridges, can I? It's off limits! How will I ever get up there? Now you can probably do the old tricker The old Dragon Quest trick, where if you want to go somewhere and you're tired of sailing, you just cast Return and your boat teleports with you. Because that's the way it works. Alright, so let's go to the British Isles. That's an identifiable island. Now I know the man in the lighthouse was telling us all about all the stuff south in Africa. Psh, who wants to go to Africa? I already made the rains joke. I don't know any other Africa trivia facts. Get used to that sound effect. Upper! There we go! Defense up. Normally called buff. And we've got 2 people with buff. So now we're going by Champagne. And here we are in... what will they call this castle? I wonder. So while I'm testing it out, what do we got? We got the upper spell. Unfortunately, this one is single target. Now, we've got 2 people who can cast it, which is nice. Oh, they also start with Blaze. So they start with like a level 1 wizard spell as well. But upper is definitely a wizard spell. I'm just going to cast it for fun, but it should double our defense, whoever you use it on. So, Fella now has 360 defense. That's all. And even Blue has over 200. So you might say it's a pretty good spell. We've got Blaze. Look at Holly being useful instantly. Get burned, Sea Slime. Yeah, this is the beginning of a good time, because we're just going to have so much more tactical options in combat now. We could have played the game with 1 cleric, 1 wizard the whole way, but this will be fun. Ice Bolt. That'll be our Ice Elemental, sort of slightly stronger single target spell. These level ups. What we really want to get, I believe, is called Buy Kill, or Oomph. Then we double someone's attack power. Although I'm not sure how that works with boomerangs and multi-hit weapons in this game. We'll test that out. Welcome to Edinburgh! It's Edinburgh. I'm surprised they didn't just call it, like, I'm terrible. What was the name of King Arthur's castle? Could have just called it that, whatever it is. Anyway, Hicks aren't welcome here. No shield, no sword, no service. Get the hell out of here. I have a sword. I guess we don't look cool enough. Get out of here. Can we sneak in? Nope. We'll have to come back once we have cooler weapons, I guess. So anyway, we found Edinburgh. Should we check out Ireland? They'll probably be way more friendly. Nope. Nobody lives in Ireland. What lives in Ireland? Just witches, of course. Arrow knights and witches. Why not? Witches probably cast magic. You know what? Let's do it the other way around. M. Dobry can put the knights to sleep while Holly... Oh, it doesn't have the right spells. Holly can technically cast Stop Spell. Do that. Maybe it'll work. We got 1 to sleep. We got them both Stop Spell. Well, isn't that cool? Now, to be fair, yes, we could probably win the battles a lot faster by just attacking and auto-battling. Clearly, it's not that big a deal. But it's so nice to finally have, like, spell options. Like, we've been skipping half the game and just using boomerangs to win. But now here we are learning cool spells, tricks. It'll be really nice when we get to some tough bosses. We learn Surround and Fireball. Wait, did they learn Fireball at a different level? Ice Bolt, Fireball. There's some randomization in when you learn the spells. That's fun. I wonder, just while we're here, can you sneak in at night Is it like ISIS where he's asleep? Okay. It's not like the Queen's guards that sleep during the night. All right. That's another one down. Where else should we go? I guess. Well, there's like some sort of Arctic island north of North America, which must be like extra north. We could go fight some grizzly bears in Russia. I think we'll head down to Africa, though. That is one of the places that the dude told us about. So we've been sort of told to go to... hey, we can teleport to Aliahan now. That's nice. We've been sort of told to go south along the coast of Africa as well as to Zipangu. We've even heard about some monsters in Zipangu. So, you know, there's some incentive to head there first. But if I remember correctly... that's not necessarily the best first town to go to once you get the boat. Let's do our east here. We haven't actually been to this little section of land. So anything to our right is... well, to the ship's left, but to your right is new land. We'll just let the auto battle for this battle. Sometimes you just gotta let the boomerangs do their job. Now, eventually, I don't know what level... but eventually we'll get a spell that, rather than just attacking a single target or a single group, will attack all enemies. You probably saw it in Dragon Quest II if you watched that. Maybe we'll learn it at, like, level 8. Probably not. Lucky to get Fireball. Sap! Right, so Endob has the Sap spell, and the defense spell, which is basically Kasap. So that was why Mdob didn't learn that. The funny thing is that Mdob still does not have Fireball, which is your standard multi-target fire spell for wizards. Interesting. Such happy ship music. Hope you guys can hear it. Dragon Quest III definitely has one of the happier ship themes. Many confused sailors stop here at this small church. The people of Tadanki used to come here too, but now they all got eaten by a monster. That's what usually happens, right? Hey, it's that random inn. Too bad we can't use the teleporter yet. So that's the inn kind of north of Dharma. Northwest, or sort of west of Dharma, north of Jakarta, I guess. Anyway, it's nice to know where the teleporters are for later, if we ever need them. Should we explore this area? Looks like... with no flashing... there's probably no reason to take the north route unless we can't go southeast. Let's try this way first. Ooh, more metal slimes! My favorite! We've got 1 damage. Now, I kind of have a hunch that when you use multi-target weapons, only the first slime you hit can take damage. So, we got to kill 1, which is good, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen it do, like, 1-1, miss 1, or something like that. Anyway, this should be really good for Daubry and Holly. This is very fortunate. And Blue gets a nice level up. Look at all those stats. I learned Retain, which is just another memory spell that I'll never remember to use, because I don't actually have Retain in real life. Fella gets a nice level up. Nice juicy level up there. Seek Out. That might be the spell I wanted. Job, fella. That's why I would never have actually promoted him at level 20. He had more spells to learn. Alright, Mdob. Stats. Stats and more stats. Also, the increase and outside spells. Increase for defense all. That could be Kabuff. Holly. Some stats. Sleep increase outside. Cool, cool. I like it. So I think, yeah, upper and increase will be defense up and defense up all, buff and kabuff. And then sap and defense are sap and kasap if you use the modern terms. But now we've got a couple different characters that can... I think you have to use increase twice. Like upper doubles your defense. Increase gives everybody 50% more defense. But if you cast increase twice, then everybody gets 100% defense. Just like as if you cast upper on everybody. And 2 casts to get everyone is better than 4 casts, right? So that's cool. Surround, sleep. It's got lots of spells. I like it. One of these days, we'll get a not just defense up, but also attack up. The buffs are often like the biggest perks of being a wizard, of bringing a wizard. And I wasn't even really worried about the attack magic not having it for M-Dob. Like in my party, I could have gone with no wizards for no booms and blasts and stuff. Like that's fine. But not having the ability to buff our defense was going to be a big problem. So now we can buff our defense. And I mean, like, you've seen, I hope by now, how bad it is when the party gets sapped. If we have no defense, and we don't have a way of fixing it, things go bad real fast. And it kind of works like if you think of normal defense as, like, level 2, then 1 casting of sap will reduce it by 2 to 0 defense. Like, 0 is 0%, 2 is 100%. If you get hit by decrease, the sap, cuss-sap, then everyone is defense cut in half. But it works additively, so if someone is sapped and you cast increase on them, then they'll go back to normal defense. Or if you cast... I forget all the names of these. It's because they change the names of the spells on me half the time. If you cast upper on someone who's had decrease, so they went down by 1 level, they'd go up by 2 levels. I believe they'd end up at plus 50% defense. So essentially, they just they counteract each other, and that's really nice when the enemies are debuffing you. I learned a new spell though, didn't I? What did I learn? I thought I saw a new spell. I should pay more attention. Like speed up, right? That's not that important. I don't think upping your agility in battle also increases your defense, although you might think it would work that way. That would be a little bit overpowered if you could actually... We've already fought these guys. These guys are desert enemies. So north was the wrong way to go, I think. Good for mapping, bad for progress. Let's have fella... Oh yeah, seek out. Discover things. Probably not going to work on the overworld, but yeah, that'll be good in dungeons and stuff, and when we're backtracking looking for items. Thieves get so much good stuff. Alright, let's speed through some of these random battles. We've got Gotagons. Have I mentioned Gotagons? That's a pretty cool name. Getting pretty good experience per battle anyway, even if we're not always fighting metal slimes. So where... There's no connecting... This is just a completely boring, empty area with nothing in it. I just explored it all for nothing. I mean, we did go from level, like, 3 or 4 to 10 sages, but that's kind of annoying. 9 east, 5 north. That was the Swamp Man. We already know about that. Is there anything kind of down this area? 12 east, 5 south. That was across the mountains where we can't go. Okay. This place sucks. You gotta have... Hey, didn't I introduce this episode with exploration tubers? No, today was promotion party. Yesterday was exploration. Look, some days... You're just exploring more than others. And today's... We got a boat. It's on a boat, tubers. So maybe we can sneak past this mountain on the boat. This is looking promising. Not really. It's gonna be a dead end. Well, hey, we found a town. And I'm gonna be immediately killed by super strong monsters. I actually have a feeling this area is fairly dangerous. We're about to find out. Ollie, why don't you give us some defense? Okay, never mind. 2 damage. Now we've got lots of defense. There are definitely some areas in this game where if you travel there too early, you can be in really big trouble. Just like the grizzly bears. Like, these things are certainly stronger than the previous zone's enemies, but not that much. So hopefully this area is not so bad. I wonder, it might have been like South America, North America. If you go there too early, you're in big trouble. I forget. We'll see. Welcome to... Well, it's not looking so good, whatever it is. Hey, fellas, is there any treasure here, by the way? There's 2 chests here. Sweet deal. Now, we might have to use his advanced, exploration to get them. There is a weapon shop with a staircase. Oh, look, a zombie! Skeleton, whatever. It's a skeleton. Bravo! You found the darkness lamp. Now that's some cool stuff. I'm pretty sure someone in the world tells you to come to this town to find that, to be honest. But that is the item that I was talking about previously that lets us change the time of day. That's pretty cool. So is there also 2 chests on this level? There are. Okay. So they might be in the swamp. Oh, the village just goes further north than I thought. It looks lifeless. Wait! Something is written on the wall! I wanted to give someone that orb that I had while I was still alive. Maybe we can search the corpse. So, we don't know much about the orb quest yet. One random dude in a lighthouse did mention it. This looks important. Let's see if we can get in there. It is sort of the main MacGuffin hunt for the mid-game. Oops. 55 gold pieces. Okay, so we found 1 item in a pot, but there's still something else hidden. Also some coffins, why not? There appears to be a corpse in the coffin. Perfect. There is 1 chest here, though. It's a life nut. Okay. There's still, what was it? There's still 1 more item on the town level. Which... Well, I'm not seeing a whole lot of pots left or anything like that. So... why don't we try out this handy little seek-out thing? Didn't do anything. How is this supposed to work? I wonder if it makes it glow or something, or like sparkle. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to look this one up between episodes. If I can't figure it out. I think this is supposed to help you find hidden items, rather than just searching random tiles. I need to find somewhere that I know there's an item on the ground, and then cast it. See, because I thought there would maybe be something in this little baby swamp, like right here or something. Could be under that corpse. He did say he had an orb. Sorry for not knowing how this works, but I'm pretty sure this ability was not in the NES version, and it's not a spell that's in any... Ah, there it is. It did work by making a sparkle. That's fine. You know, that's totally acceptable. I kind of guessed it eventually. And even if that's all it does, that's still so much better than randomly searching every single tile on the map. So that's still really, really good. Don't get me wrong, when I was sort of like... maybe like... I was hoping it would say, move 4 squares south and you'll find a treasure, was kind of what I was thinking at first. But just sparkling anything on the map that's an actual treasure, that's totally fine. Okay, so while we're here, I guess we need to end the episode pretty quick, to be honest. But while we're here, first off, let's have a life nut. Life nuts. I want more than 3 HP. I want more than 4 HP. Come on, life nut. I've had too many nuts. I'm allergic to... Maybe... No, it goes up to... It must go up to 5. I'm sure I've seen these hit a 5. You know what? I'll take the 4. It's fine. I'm going to try this darkness lamp. Darkness emanated from the lamp, making everything as black as night. And so it was. Welcome to night, where the town is friendly and totally not spooky. Welcome to Tadanki. East around the cape and up the river is a large volcano. Supposedly it leads to the Necrogond Mountains. Unless you're very strong, yeah, don't go there. That sounds like instant death. Necrogond, huh? They say that Baramouse lives deep within the Necrogond Mountains. That's probably where my dad is. Or died. If Baramouse ever sets foot in this town, we'll make short work of him. What? You thought Baramouse had already destroyed the village? It does kind of look like it. Clearly, you are mistaken. Weapon shop. We could buy stuff, like a horny hat. Magic armor, that's pretty good. Magic robes. Not as good. Magical skirt, way better. And then some of the old stuff we've seen before. Didn't I give... Oh, M. Dobry couldn't equip steel whips before, right? He could only equip... As a cleric, he could only equip this Morning Star. I'm so glad this town full of skeletons is still selling me weapons. Alright, M. Dobry, here you go. And yeah, Holly will become a far more efficient fighter as well as spellcaster now that she's not a jester. So I hope you're happy. That's a lot of money. That's also really good. Magic armor also probably provides magic damage reduction. Although the magic robe would... The magic robe is basically meant, I think, for wizards. Because I don't think wizards can use magic armor. But sages can usually equip anything a cleric can equip. And clerics are kind of like almost heavy armored. Like, it probably goes... Hero can equip the most, warrior can equip the second most, and then clerics and sages can equip the third most, like in terms of heaviness. And wizards are way down there with thieves and fighters at the very bottom. So, I have enough money. I could buy 3 of these. The horned hat, probably not that valuable. As fun as skirts and robes are, we don't really need robes. We can actually wear pretty good armor with our party composition. And Fella doesn't even really need it, because he's got so much agility. So let's waste all of our money. We'll probably find one for free as soon as we leave this town. That's a pretty big defense up for especially M. Dobry and Holly. Now, one thing that's kind of a bonus effect that I haven't really talked about a whole lot is Holly does have quite a lot of luck by being a jester for so long. Now, we're losing out on our evasion finally, but we did get like almost 20 defense, so I think it's probably a good trade. 15% evasion for like minus 10 damage per hit or something like that. It's probably worth it. But so anyway, one of the tricks is, because Holly was a jester for quite a while, now you could do higher luck, like I think it caps at 999. If you leveled up as a jester even longer and got closer to max luck, then when you promoted... You know what? I had a steel whip. I could have just given her one of my extra steel whips. It's fine. Now everybody has a steel whip. But yeah, essentially because... What I'm trying to say is because Holly has still quite high luck comparatively, right? Like, it'll average out eventually, but she'll be fairly resistant to status effects. And that's a pretty nice bonus as a healer who you need to not be asleep or instant killed. So, Jester to Sage is The luck is still valuable, but, you know, it'd be nice to have more intelligence. Wisdom. We bought the steel whip. We don't care about morning stars anymore. We could buy the horned hat. I mean, I guess I've got the money. I am kind of worried that we're going to find another town that sells much better stuff as soon as we leave. I'm also a little bit worried that we're going to run into combat that we can't really survive because people will be getting killed in one hit. So it's kind of a trade-off between... That was a waste of money. That was like +1 defense. But it's like a trade-off between wanting to be frugal and save my money for better equipment, and a trade-off. The other trade is also not wanting to die. You know, to be honest, I don't think we're going to equip that rune staff. It's not much better than the steel whip in terms of damage. It has no in-battle use. We tried. We're going to hold on to the bladerang, boomerang, and the 2 steel whips. We're going to sell that. Other than that, like, there you go. We still have a fair bit of money. That's fine. Okay. Let's finish exploring this town, and then we're probably going to wrap it up. Such a mysterious zombie town. How great it would be if we humans were able to fly. We would be able to go anywhere without fear of monsters. Can't argue about flight. Oh, this guy. This is a prison. Get out of here. So, sadly, to actually talk to this skeleton undead man, you actually need a better key. So we're not going to be able to get in there right now. It's very, very, very sad. Alright, we'll walk through the swamp again. Listen, traveler. You need to find the final key. Once you've done that, head to Lancel, which is just south of Bharata. So Bharata was India. Lancel must be, like... it's an island in the Indian Ocean, or maybe Australia? No, Australia was where we started, I think. It's just a corpse. I thought it would talk to us, honestly. So, a couple more tips. Get a final key. Maybe Baramos destroyed this village, and everyone's now an undead abomination, and I'm surprised they haven't tried to eat our brain yet, but let's just go to sleep. We'll be fine. I'm sure tired. What a cheap deal. I'll enjoy my stay in the zombie village. Everyone's gone. Super suspicious. Anyway, I think this is time to end the episode. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm really happy we've got sages now. I think Holly is already considerably stronger than she was to level 20 sage. And M. Dobry, while not, like, you know, she did lose a little bit of power. It's coming back. Just having upper and increase is a really good advantage. And outside, like, we've got some good mage spells or wizard spells. And we'll start getting... I think this game has a heal us spell at a pretty high level. So, like, it's possible that it's, say, level 23 or something. I don't know the exact number, but it's possible at a level 20-something cleric, we could have learned some useful healing spells, like multi-target healing. There would be... Let's see, we already had sap and defense. There's probably a spell that lowers the enemy's... at least agility. We've got speed up. There's probably speed down of some sort. There might be an attack down, which would be quite nice. There's definitely like a better gale spell that does more like wind damage. But to be fair, the wizard type spells will almost always be better. Like when you're using a sage, generally Fireball, Firebane, the ice spells, whatever they're called. Fire and ice magic will do more damage than wind magic, unless the enemy is strong to fire and ice, basically. So they're just, you know, the wind spells were mostly just so clerics had some magic. Like, clerics already have healing, support, and damage spells. Wizards are like fragile, less equipment, a little bit more damaging spells, no healing, and different buff spells. But anyway, I'm pretty happy. I don't know what else to say. That's good. So let's end it here. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm going to take a little break, And we've got lots of the world to explore. I don't really have a specific plan on how I'm going to tackle the world. Maybe I'll explore the rest of Africa and some of those islands. And eventually we'll head to the new lands, the new worlds. And to be honest, there's probably a ton of mini medals we could get right now. Like, just between backtracking, using our thief spell, and also finding new towns with new mini medals, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we could get the 30 mini medal prize, the 35 prize, and probably the 40 prize all right now if I really wanted to. Clearly we have a goal to get a new key, some orbs, continue the quest to find our father. This is a very open world kind of Dragon Quest, to be honest. Like, they give you some general direction, but for the most part you kind of just do what you want, which is cool. It's just funny looking back at how, like, sorry, I'm rambling again, but if you've played Dragon Quest XI or seen anyone play it, it's much more linear. Like, you go to a town, then there's a dungeon beside the town. You clear the dungeon, you go back to the town, get a reward, then you go to the next town. And then that town has a dungeon nearby that you go and you finish, and then you go to the next, and, you know, rinse and repeat. It's almost always one dungeon, one town, go to the next town, maybe 2 dungeons by that town, or a small dungeon and a bigger dungeon. This one's far more like, yeah, there's still probably 1 dungeon per town, but it's less like linear, go here, then here, then here. Just in general, which is cool. I mean, you know, sometimes people rag on JRPGs for being too linear, and Dragon Quest III is probably a pretty good example of a not super linear one, although there's obviously a progression compared to Dragon Quest XI or even 2. Like, Dragon Quest II is still pretty go here, then here, then here, until you got the boat. It's always when you get the boat. That's why I'm still rambling, but, you know, I just have to say this. It's very important. This is why I feel like any proper JRPG needs to have an overworld of some sort with some sort of transportation besides walking. Whether it's a boat, an airship, a canoe, something that gets you around the world that bypasses mountains and not the boring walk that eventually gets it. And this is why I think the Final Fantasy series has kind of gone off track. It's like, you lose that sense of it's a big, huge world, and then you zoom in when you get into a specific interesting area. Towns are interesting, dungeons are interesting, stuff like that, so you get a zoom in. But when you're just on the open world, you're just traveling, you're exploring. It feels bigger, and instead of it being repetitive where you have to fight a million random encounters and it takes 5 hours to walk across, give me an airship, or at least a boat or something. At the very least, give me a spell that lets me zip around between towns. And anyway, I'm rambling, I know, but I have some deep-rooted issues with JRPGs and just RPGs in general that don't let you just... I better stop. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you next time for more Dragon Questing. Have a good day.